tonight on Season Pass.
High school softball season has come to a close while baseball teams across the Concho Valley prepare for their final week of the regular season. Highlights from across the area coming your way. The Angelo State Rams and Bells also continued action. Did the Ram Bells keep up their hot play? All this and more tonight. Season Pass starts right now.
Season Pass is sponsored by Kent Elliott Roofing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season Pass. I'm your host, Ryan Reynolds. What a week for Concho Valley sports. High school softball closed out its regular season. Baseball, they still have one final week until the playoffs, but we'll dive into that next Sunday. As for Angelo State, the Rams and Bells were mainly on the road this past week, but we do have some final scores to report. Let's go back to high school softball, though. Entering the week, the Central Lady Cats were on the outside looking in with just 2 games to play. Central found itself needing to win out if they wanted to secure the 4th and final playoff spot in District 2-6A. The Lady Cats having to play with a playoff mentality, hosting Midland Lee to start the week, pick it up in the bottom of the 2nd. Lady Cats down 1. McKenna McMillan sends one to left past the Lady Rebels glove. Ashton McMillan comes in to score. That ties things at 1. And later in the inning, they weren't done there. Bases loaded for Bailey Fulp. She grounds it to third. She's thrown out at first, but Riley Den scores from third. Lady Cats take a 2-1 lead. Very next batter, Garcia back to the pitcher. Lady Rebels get the easy out at first, but McKenna McMillan adds another Central run. 3-1 Lady Cats. This game was tied going into the bottom of the 7th, but Ashton McMillan hit a walk-off inside the park home run to give Central the 6-5 win. Which brings us to this season finale. Winner gets a playoff spot. Central on the road at Abilene. Bottom of the 3rd, Brianna Baharis blasts one to right. She scores 1-0 Abilene. Top of the 4th, McKenna McMillan gets a single to fall. That drives in a run. 1-1. We are tied. Bottom of the 4th, Jazzy Cantu. She hits a liner over the 3rd baseman's head. That brings home another run for the Eagles. Abilene in front, 2-1. Next batter, Amaya Starks pulls one to left, gets plenty of distance on it for the 2-run shot. Eagles charge ahead 4-1, and that does it for the Lady Cats season. They fall 5-1. Central finishes the season with an 11-7 overall record, 5-7 in district play. The Wall softball team was also in a bit of a predicament last week. The Lady Hawks were scratching the surface of a playoff berth, and they had quite the showdown on their hands last Tuesday. Wall and Clyde battling for the 4th and final playoff spot in District 6-3A. The Lady Cats currently 2 games back from the final playoff spot. They really got after it. Bottom of the 1st, bases loaded for Wall. They take advantage of a wild pitch. 1-0 Lady Hawks. A little later, they add some more runs. Rihanna Kleeman grounds one to short. The runner is safe at 2nd, but a Lady Hawk scores on the play. 2-0 Wall. Clyde would answer back in the top of the 2nd. Haley McAlmond grounds one to short, but a throwing error gives the Lady Bulldogs their first score of the game. 3-1 Wall in front. Bottom of the 2nd, Rachel Klein up to bat. She's going to pop one out to left. Look at this. A bit of miscommunication leads to a Wall score. 4-1 Lady Hawks. Clyde added 8 runs in the top of the 3rd to steal one on the road. Wall falling to the Lady Bulldogs in a slugfest. 16-11. The Lady Hawks missed the playoffs. This season can be classified as a successful year, no matter what, for the Lakeview Maidens softball team. The program picked up its first district win in 5 seasons. Now with 2 wins under their belt, the Maidens wrapped up their season against Snyder Friday afternoon in front of the hometown crowd. Looking to go out on a winning note. The Lady Tigers, though, didn't make it easy. Top of the 1st, Kiara Galvan swipes 2nd. That puts a Snyder runner in scoring position. Snyder, they've been good all year, cashing in on those opportunities. Here's another one. A bloop single stays in the infield. That scores Galvan from 3rd. Snyder in front 1-0. The Lady Tigers, they got out to a fast start. A little later, bases loaded for Liana Madrid. She skies it to center, but it drops in. A bases clearing double makes it 4-0. Snyder in the top of the 1st. The Lady Tigers running away with it. Lakeview, loses its season finale 16-0. The Maidens, they finished 2-8 in District 3-4A. Over to the baseball diamond, Central taking on Midland Lee. James Plackey on the mound for the Bobcats. It was a defensive battle for the first few innings for both teams. In the top of the second, Ty Casey at the plate for the Rebels. He pops one out to right into Caden Box's glove. And take a look at this. Shows off the cannon. Gets the out at home to end the inning. How about that? Then in the top of the fourth, Michael Wiedner at the plate. He'll send one to deep center. It bounces off the wall. Kyson Snelson attempts to throw it to third, but Widener would beat the throw. He is in safely with a stand-up triple. Same inning. Now it's Hayden Westernberg. He'll hit a hopper to short. Wiedner scores on the fielder's choice. The Rebels, they go on to win this one 15-2, the final score. Lakeview hosting Levelland. The Lobos undefeated in 3-4A. Top of the third, 2 on, 2 out for Dylan Wolf. Gets under one, lingering in the air. Chiefs, they come down with it. Levelland scores a run, though. Later in the inning, 2 on, 2 out again. Plackey close, sends another sky high into shallow short. That drops in for another Levelland run. Bottom of the third, Lakeview gets the win to play it to its advantage. Kate Henry's fly ball drops in left. Joseph Coffrin scores. The Chiefs' first run of the contest. Then 2 on for Gary Cruz. Chops one to short, but Cruz is going to beat the throw, allowing Jacob Chapa to score, tying the game at 2. Levelland scored 5 runs in the 5th. They take it 8-6. 14th ranked Wall on the road in Ballinger. Bearcats still looking to secure a playoff spot. Things did not go their way Friday night. Bottom of the first, Bryson Ballard freezes up Lane Bulshner. Ballard strikes out the side. Then in the top of the second, 2 on for Kai Herbert. He sends one over the second baseman. Both Hawks come in to score. Wall out to a 3-0 lead. Next inning, Reed Decker at the plate. He knocks one down the third base line. That brings in Drew Morrison from second. That also made it 5-0 Hawks in front, and they go on to win it 9-4. Hawks improve to 10-2 in District 3-6A. The high school baseball regular season wraps up this week. Coming up on Season Pass, Cristoval and Ozona faced off in a battle of second-place teams, and a handful of Central student athletes signed to play at the next level. All that and more after the break. Stay with us.
Chevy is America's fastest growing full-line brand, and people are taking it everywhere. Taking Trailblazer outdoors, confidently taking on new places with Equinox, and taking on more with Silverado. Whatever you do, there's a perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. Get a total value of $5,650 on this 2021 Silverado Crew Cab Texas Edition, or get 0% financing for 72 months on all 2021 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups when you finance with GM Financial.
Your business is important. That's why we're proud to recognize KLST's small business leaders. Santex Air Filtration, the best air filters for your home or business. 64 East Avenue K, 657-8188. RM Electrical, in the dark, we light the way. 486-1309. With Ford San Angelo's most beloved radio stations, Foster Communications is not only the signal of success, but the signal of San Angelo for more than 60 years.
Only $331 a month for this Toyota Corolla. It's an excellent choice. Deals like that have kept satisfied customers coming back for over 30 years. At Mitchell Toyota, straight shooting, integrity, and fairness are always included in every deal, like these. You'll enjoy driving this brand new Camry. It's only $388 a month. This new CHR is extraordinary, and it's only $21,352. Your home for great deals. Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road, where we put the deal back in dealership.
Concho Valley Homepage isn't just a website or an app in San Angelo. It's your connection to everything in the Concho Valley. From Wall to Cristoval, Miles to Great Creek, people turn to Concho Valley Homepage over 1 million times. With webcasts, push alerts, and website exclusives, all completely free, behind 0 paywalls. ConchoValleyHomepage.com isn't just news for San Angelo. It's keeping you connected to the Concho Valley.
Welcome back to Season Pass. Tuesday was windy for high school baseball, and that played a factor in District 5-2A. Cristoval and Ozona are tied for second, hoping to clinch home field advantage for at least the by-district round of the playoffs. Cristoval, they met Ozona. Winner moves to sole possession of second place. Top of the second, it is still scoreless. Ozona gets one on the board, though, thanks to that sacrifice fly. Runner tags from third. Lions in front 1-0. Same inning. Cristoval, they are in trouble. Back-to-back strikeouts by Riley Workman keeps Ozona from making it a big inning. Containing the Lions on the base paths. Top of the third. Cristoval's offense quiet until now. Workman lines one into left. It's bobbled, and a runner comes around to tie the game at 1. Later in the third, though, runner on for Chris Wheelberg, who drives it over the head of the outfielders, and that scores a run. Cougars take a 2-1 lead after the top of the third. Ozona storming back to pick up a huge win. Lions take it 11-4. They're second in District 5-2A. Central golf phenom Ryan Honey advanced to the state championships after a silver medal finish at regionals last week. Honey finished day 2 at 2 over par and won a playoff against a golfer from McKinney Boyd to determine state qualifiers. This will be Honey's second trip to the state tournament. She qualified her freshman year, becoming the first Central golfer to do so since 2014. Her sophomore year was cut short due to COVID. State play begins May 11th from Legacy Hill Golf Club in Georgetown. The Robert Lee Lady Steers, along with 11 other teams from 1A Region 2, competed at Bentwood Country Club last week. Eula entered the final day with a 2-stroke advantage over Robert Lee, while Very Best was only 4 strokes off the lead in third. The top 3 qualify for the state tournament. So let's take a look at those final results. As you see there, Eula would hold on, shooting a .414 for the second straight day, meaning the Lady Pirates are regional champs. Robert Lee hangs on to second place, 13 strokes back for runners-up, and more importantly, a spot in the state tournament. Very Best gets that final spot. The Lady Falcons were just 8 strokes behind the Lady Steers. The 1A state golf tournament takes place May 10th through 11th at the Lighthouse Country Club in Kingsland. The 1A Region 2 track and field meet wrapped up yesterday evening at LeGrand Stadium. Student athletes from 10 Concho Valley schools competing for a spot in the state meet. Starting from the boys, Sterling City led the pack with 7 top 3 finishes. Chance Ferguson placed first in the boys 400-meter dash. The Eagles placing second in the 4x100-meter relay and third in the 4x200-meter relay. Erie County racked up 5 top 3 finishes, including a pair of silvers from Trevin Kofel and Tate Cormier in the 300-meter hurdles and 1600-meter run. Water Valley had 3 top 3 finishes, 2 coming from Harley Davis. He secured a gold in discus and shot put. Here's a look at the final standings for the boys. Rankin finishing first as regional champs with 92.20 points. Sterling City right behind the Red Devils with a score of 81.20. Erie County placed 4th. Water Valley 7th. On the girls' side, Erie County led all Concho Valley schools with 7 top 3 finishes and are regional champs. Keegan James and Audrey Tillman placed first and second in the triple jump for the Lady Hornets. Tillman also secured a gold in the long jump. Blackwell and Very Best had 4 top 3 finishers, while Sterling City placed 3 in the top 3. Signing a letter of intent is a special night for any high school athlete, but getting to do it with 3 of your teammates makes the night even better. 4 Central Lady Cat soccer players signed their national letters of intent at the turf room of San Angelo Stadium last Tuesday. 3 of them going to Lone Star Conference schools. Michaela Jordan signed with Oklahoma Christian. Top scorer Angel Alvarado signed with St. Mary's. Kyron Moffitt signed with Lubbock Christian. And Arcieli Hulligan signed with Oak Hills Christian College in Minnesota.
Always wanted to kind of get out of Texas, but not too far, and I feel like Oklahoma is a good mix.
I'm really excited to go. I've already been up there multiple times. I've met the players and the coach.
High school soccer and college soccer is really different from what I've heard, but I'm just willing to push myself to be the best that I can.
It is pretty far, but I wanted to try to explore new things, and a lot of people are telling me I'm going to need a coach.
These girls are dual credit, event AP classes, I mean, you name it, they're in it. So it is amazing, and it's hard to juggle. I love to see them succeed, and I love to see them as happy as they are.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available in the GMC Sierra. Step up to GMC and get $6,000 purchase cash on this 2021 Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab Texas Edition. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $250 purchase allowance.
Visit Mitchell Buick GMC in San Angelo.
Hi, I'm Mike with MGB, Mike's Gold Buyers. Gold and silver prices are terrific, which means more money for your gold, silver, and diamonds. Come to MGB and you'll say,
I sold gold and I like Mike.
On Avenue N by Angelo State.
Has stormy weather damaged your roof? Call Kent Elliott Roofing. Since 1966, folks in San Angelo and all across West Central Texas have relied on Kent Elliott Roofing to make sure their roof is installed correctly and maintained properly. We work on your behalf with your insurance company to help settle your claim and assist you in receiving fair and just compensation. At Kent Elliott Roofing, we live, work, and serve right here. You're not just clients to us, you're our neighbors. You need a roof you can trust, so call a roofer you can trust. Kent Elliott Roofing.
Baseball, golf ball, grape, or pea size. They all mean one thing at Jim Bass, a hail sale. Jim Bass and Mother Nature have come together again to offer huge savings on cars and trucks. Now is the perfect time to get that brand new vehicle you've been looking for. Because of a little hail, you can save thousands. Don't miss our 2021 hail sale going on now. Jim Bass Cars and Trucks, Houston Hart and Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Streamline your time online with the Concho Valley Homepage app. Get your news and personalized weather faster and easier than ever before. And with live video and news alerts, you'll never miss a story. The Concho Valley Homepage news app. Download it today.
Welcome back to Season Pass. Last week started with some surprising news out of Cristoval. Last Monday, the Cougars announced the resignation of Scott Richardson, the athletic director and head girls basketball coach. Richardson was hired in 2015, coming from Waco Robinson, and was acting AD and head coach for cross country, girls basketball, and girls track and field. In his tenure as athletic director, Cristoval won 20 team district championships, 4 state qualifiers, 25 team playoff wins, and led 4 individuals to state medals and 3 individuals to state titles. Here's Coach Richardson on his time as a Cristoval Cougar.
I was able to learn so much about so many different roles in Cristoval, and I think I was just at a point in life where I really wanted to begin to, passionately pursue the things that I like most about education, specifically coaching basketball. Cristoval is an amazing place, and it's growing into something that's going to be really, really special. And so just getting to be a part of that as it's continued to grow and transition into, a bigger school than it was when we got there was just really special.
The FCA All-Star Festival has released the schedule for this summer's baseball and softball All-Star camps taking place in San Angelo. It all begins on Wednesday, June 9th, when coaches arrive in the morning, athletes in the afternoon. The event will continue on Thursday, the 10th, and conclude on Friday, the 11th. The All-Star softball game begins at 5 from Meyer Field, baseball at 5:30 from Foster Field, both on the campus of Angelo State. Speaking of Angelo State, the baseball team jumped 1 spot to number 12 in the nation following its sweep of Eastern New Mexico. The Rams got a little break from conference action last Tuesday with a home game against Lubbock Christian. They tried to make it 5 straight wins, but the Chaps never an easy opponent for the Rams. They're trailing a 5-0 in the 5th. This play right here could have been ASU's first run. Hardy flies out for the second out. Bramlett tries to tag from third. He is tagged out. The play was reviewed for interference, but the call stands, and that ends the inning. Same score in the 6th, 2 runners on. Thomas Kane grounds out to second. Rams still trail 5-0. If you need to kickstart your offense, call on Josh Elvire. 7th inning, Elvire, he's going to hit an RBI single to finally get the Rams on the board. 5-1 the score at this point. Next batter, Aaron Walters. Double steal attempt. Elvire safe at second. Hardy safe at home. Kevin Brooks being aggressive on the base path. 5-2 Chaps lead. Rams score 1 more in the 9th, but ground into a double play with the bases loaded to end it. 5-3 Lubbock Christian gets the win. The Rams then went on the road to Oklahoma for a 3-game series against Cameron. Trent Baker pitched a gem in Game 1, leading Angelo State to a 6-0 win. Baker threw 8 innings, struck out 13, and allowed just 2 hits. That success set the tone for the rest of the series. The Rams picked up a 13-4 win in Game 2. Angelo State then completed the sweep this afternoon with a dominant win in the series finale, 18-2. The Rams are now 22-5 in the Lone Star Conference. They'll travel to Austin on Tuesday for a non-conference game against St. Edwards. The Angelo State softball team, they jumped back into the rankings at number 23 and are one of 8 teams included in last week's South Central Regional rankings. They played 4 games, splitting a doubleheader with St. Edwards yesterday, winning Game 1 10-5 before falling in Game 2 3-1. That loss right here snapped the Rambells' 11-game winning streak. They then took the road for a doubleheader against St. Mary's today, sweeping the Rattlers 2-0 in Game 1. The back end of the twin bill was a different story, though. Angelo State winning a shootout in 9 innings, 8-7. The Rambells will close out the regular season at home on Saturday with a doubleheader against Lubbock Christian. The Rams with 7 games left on their schedule, the Rambells with just 2 games. After the break, we check in with the Angelo State tennis team, and we have some conference awards to talk about. We'll be right back.
Little Hail, big sale at Mitchell Buick GMC. Right now, there are 100 brand new Buicks and GMCs on our lot with little hail damage. That means big savings for you. The damage is so small, you can hardly see it. But the savings are so big, you can't miss them. Like this 2021 Buick Encore. Hail sale priced at only $17,999. Or save $7,000 off with special hail sale savings on this Buick Encore GX. Little Hail, big sale at Mitchell Buick GMC, your hometown dealer.
During our spring sensational sale at Trend Furniture, it's tax back for cash or 3 years no interest. It's your choice. And at Trend Furniture, with all the delays, we are working hard with our vendors to have a great selection of furniture for you to have in your home the same day. At Trend Furniture, we worked hard with our vendors to bring you the latest in fashions and to have it in stock. We have all new furniture ready to go and to be in your home on the same day, plus new patio furniture. So come to Trend Furniture and check it out. It's all here at Trend Furniture across from Sunset Mall, 4002 Wellington.
They're here.
You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah, and it's 3 rows.
So you.
Your Buick has Apple CarPlay. Where do I plug in?
It's wireless.
That's so you. What do I do with these? Careful, it's kind of busy.
Oh, I got this with my superpowers.
And a little help from your Buick.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. Get this low-mileage lease on this 2021 Buick Encore GX for around $189 per month. Or get $2,700 purchase allowance.
Only $331 a month for this Toyota Corolla. It's an excellent choice. Deals like that have kept satisfied customers coming back for over 30 years. At Mitchell Toyota, straight shooting, integrity, and fairness are always included in every deal, like these. You'll enjoy driving this brand new Camry. It's only $388 a month. This new CHR is extraordinary, and it's only $21,352. Your home for great deals. Mitchell Toyota on Knickerbocker Road, where we put the deal back in dealership.
Welcome back to Season Pass. The Angelo State soccer team is the conference champion, and as a result, they finish as the 3rd-ranked team in the country, tied for the highest ranking in program history. They also dominated the season awards in the Lone Star Conference. Avery McNamee defending her title for Midfielder of the Year, winning it for a 2nd straight year. She also added Co-Player of the Year to her personal trophy case. Sophomore defender Cassidy Hill was named the Co-Defender of the Year. Junior forward Gabby Villagran was named the Co-Forward of the Year. Bianca Truce, a grad transfer forward from the Netherlands, takes home Newcomer of the Year. And head coach Travis McCorkle takes Co-Coach of the Year for the season. The Bells also had 5 named to the All-Conference list. Same goes for the Bells volleyball team. After winning the AVCA National Championship, the Bells finished the season ranked #1 in the AVCA Division II poll. Oklahoma Baptist, Colorado Mesa, MSU Denver, and Tampa round out the top 5. 3 other LSC schools made the rankings as well. UT Tyler at 11th, Kingsville at 13th, and West Texas A&M at 24th. The Bells finished the season as Lone Star Conference champions, AVCA national champions, and with a 24-2 overall record. The 12th-ranked Angelo State tennis team notched its 12th straight win this morning, defeating UT Tyler 5-2 to finish undefeated in the Lone Star Conference. It's been a long week, folks. The Bells are conference champions for the second straight season, improving to 14-3 overall, 9-0 in conference play. They're the #1 seed in the upcoming LSE tournament in Waco. Here's that first round matchup. Angelo State will battle 8th-seeded Western New Mexico in the quarterfinals on Thursday. The Bells went on the road and beat the Mustangs 6-1 earlier this season. The winner of this match will face either Texas A&M Kingsville or Dallas Baptist in the semifinals on Friday. Next on Season Pass, TLCA Baseball is dedicating its season to a teammate after a traumatic incident. Find out what happened and how the Eagles are showing support after the break. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Mike with MGB, Mike's Gold Buyers. Gold and silver prices are terrific, which means more money for your gold, silver, and diamonds. Come to MGB and you'll say,
I sold gold and I like Mike.
On Avenue N by Angelo State.
Chevy is America's fastest growing full-line brand. That's why people are taking it everywhere. Taking SUVs like Trailblazer outdoors, confidently taking on new places with Equinox, and taking on more with the most capable Silverado ever. No matter what you do, there's a Chevy that's perfect to take you anywhere. Get a total value of $5,650 on this 2021 Silverado Crew Cab Texas Edition. See All-American Chevrolet in San Angelo.
The first time I met Morris, the door flew open and I got this larger-than-life personality.
Hey, how you doing today?
So I thought, we're definitely going to be friends.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back to Season Pass. A TLCA third baseman recovering after a battle with multiple seizures and a stroke. It's a medical incident not common with teenagers, but the Eagles aren't letting their brother fight through it alone.
Run.
While the TLCA Eagles are putting in work, their teammate Aiden Dane is sidelined after suffering 2 seizures and a pediatric stroke.
He realized that the right side of his body was completely numb. From his face to his arm to his leg, all of it was numb.
It all started when Aiden went to bed. Somewhere between the hours of 11 and 6:30, Aiden had his first seizure.
He recalls trying to yell out for me, but in his head he was yelling my name, but he said nothing was coming out of my mouth, like there was no noise.
In those moments, Aiden panicked. As his concern grew, he suffered from a pediatric stroke. That following morning, Aiden's mom saw his condition, dialed 911, and from there, Aiden went to Shannon and was later flown to Fort Worth.
They ultrasound every part of his body. He continued to get MRIs.
Aiden suffered permanent brain damage, and the news made it to his teammates.
Kind of squatted down, started tearing up, and just was wondering why it would happen to Aiden, because Aiden is like one of those kids that don't do anything wrong.
I was just devastated to see one of a friend, a junior, at that, just 17 years old, have a seizure and have a stroke. It's just sad.
Memory loss is just one of the blanks caused from the seizures and stroke he experienced.
What he did remember was his passion for baseball and his team.
Writing 12 strong on tape across the wrist, the Eagles are keeping Aiden close and rallying for his return.
Everything we do right now is for Aiden. Every game, every practice, we usually have somewhere 12 on us.
To show him that no matter what, we're thinking about him daily, not just on the field, but off the field as well. Knowing that he's fighting at home, we're going to fight on the field for him.
But it doesn't stop with 12 strong. TLCA dedicating their entire season to Aiden.
Being able to honor 12 strong is like putting our brother up front and letting know that we're fighting for him.
The Eagles fighting for their brother on the diamond, Aiden fighting to return with a positive attitude.
Let's go, Aiden! He has a different perspective on life. He is so grateful. He's so thankful to be alive.
We're all 12 strong here at Season Pass. We'll be back next Sunday. Good night, Concho Valley.
Closed captioning for the hearing impaired is sponsored by the Law Office of Rick DeHoyas.